Today is day 12 of Russia-Ukraine war. We have some major developments which happened in the last 24 hours. Before that, a new story from Uganda Rwanda border. Uganda Rwanda border was closed. It has been closed for more than 3 years. In 2017, Uganda Rwanda relations deteriorated. Rwanda leveled serious allegations against Uganda and it accused Uganda of harboring those elements which were hostile to Rwandan government. The border was closed and Rwanda further accused, it had accused Uganda of torturing Rwandan civilians on Uganda soil. So, tensions rose, a situation became very strained and the border was closed. It remained closed for more than 3 years. But today, a few hours ago, the border was opened yesterday. General Muhoozi, who is head of Ugandan army, son of ruler Yoweri Museveni, he was in Rwanda yesterday. He met with Paul Kagame. Negotiations were held and it was agreed that the border be opened. The border has been opened. Katuna border has been opened. Watch this video clip showing a passenger bus crossing into Uganda from Rwanda. The border opened a few hours ago. Then some new stories about Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, it was Russia-Ukraine conflict, some major developments in the past 24 hours. Firstly, Russia has released a list of 48 unfriendly countries. Is any African country on this list? Secondly, Russia has released 3 demands. Russia wants Ukraine to meet the 3 demands to end the conflict. What are the 3 demands? Thirdly, a top Russian army officer has been killed. His death has been confirmed. He is a major general. Humanitarian corridors were announced today by Russia to evacuate civilians, but Ukraine rejected the corridors. Why? First, viewers, Russia today released a list of 48 countries which are unfriendly, according to Russia, which have been at the forefront in opposing Russia in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. The list has all EU members, it has the US, from Asia it has Taiwan, Singapore, Korea, other countries. Interestingly, there is no African country on the list. So, Russia does not see any African country as hostile now. Though we know that some African countries supported the resolution against Russia, which was tabled at UN General Assembly, Human Rights Council countries like Kenya, Somalia, Djibouti, and several others. They opposed Russia at UN sessions, but Russia is not seeing any African country as a hostile country. In this list of 48 countries, there is no African country included. Russia does not want to damage its relations with Africa because Russia is relatively a new entry in Africa in comparison with the US and Western countries. But now Russia and China both have huge strategic interests in Africa. Secondly, viewers, Russia has released three demands. It wants Ukraine to meet the three demands to end the ongoing war. Firstly, it wants an amendment in Ukrainian constitution. It says that Ukrainian constitution must guarantee that Ukraine will not be part of any bloc, NATO, EU. Secondly, it wants Ukraine to recognize Crimea as part of Russia. And thirdly, it wants Ukraine to recognize LPR, Luhansk People's Republic, and Donetsk People's Republic, DPR. It wants Ukraine to recognize LPR and DPR as independent countries. All three demands are very difficult demands. Let's see. Reportedly, talks are underway. A third round of talks between Russia and Ukraine is underway these minutes in Belarus. And these three demands have been conveyed by Russian negotiators to Ukrainian counterparts. Will Ukraine agree to these three demands or not? That remains to be seen. Thirdly, viewers, a key meeting is due to be held on Thursday with the participation of Russian and Ukrainian foreign ministers. Sergei Lavrov, Russian foreign minister, and Kuleba, Ukrainian foreign minister, they'll meet in Turkey on Thursday. Mevlut Çavuşoğlu, a Turkish foreign minister, will also be part of this meeting. Turkey is not taking any sides, viewers, though Turkey has not closed Bosphorus Strait so far, though it threatened a little, but it is not becoming a part of this conflict. Rather, it's trying to play mediatory role. That is why on Turkish soil, Ukrainian and Russian foreign ministers are due to meet on a Thursday. And lastly, viewers, today Russia announced humanitarian corridors for evacuation of civilians from major cities of Ukraine. Kharkiv, Mariupol, Sumy, and Kiev. From these four main cities, Russia announced humanitarian corridors for evacuation of civilians. But the corridors were rejected by Ukraine because the roads leading from these cities enter Russia and Belarus. Ukraine does not want its civilians to be evacuated to Russia or Belarus. Belarus is Russian ally. So that is why Ukraine rejected this Russian offer of evacuation of Ukrainian civilians to Russia or Belarus. Obviously, Ukraine will never accept that. There are serious questions about the safety of the Ukrainians if they enter Russia or Belarus. So, as was expected, Ukraine has rejected this humanitarian corridor. Talks are still underway right now. Remember this video. I'll update you tomorrow. Lastly, a top Russian military officer has been killed in the ongoing fighting. He is a major general, perhaps the senior most officer of Russian military whose death has been confirmed is the person whose death is being reported now. He is Major General Andrei Sokhovetsky. How was he killed? Reportedly, he was killed by a Ukrainian sniper. Ukrainian snipers are proving to be very effective. We have seen some reports about other Russian officers as well who have been targeted by these Ukrainian snipers. In urban combat, you're always vulnerable to sniper fire. And Russians are suffering losses in this urban combat because obviously people are against them and intelligence is available to Ukrainians about the movement of Russian military. That is why they are suffering losses in towns and cities. It's becoming difficult for them to speed up their advance into main cities. About battlefield territorial gains and losses of the two sides, we'll update you once there are some major developments. Situation is volatile around Kharkiv, Sumy, and Kiev as well. Russians have managed to get close to Kiev. They have been seen in Irpin. We'll update you in coming videos about that. Kiev is under pressure. We know that Russians from multiple directions are closing in on Ukraine capital Kiev. Thank you for watching.